all a bunch of fucking assholes. You know why? You don't have the guts to be what you want to be. You need people like me. You need people like me so you can point your fucking fingers and say, that's the bad guy. You're all a bunch.
Y'all, because who do Stephen A. think he is, y'all? Who do we think he is, y'all? Listen, welcome back to Black Culture is Lit checking in. Look, before we begin, hit that subscribe button because I got a lot of questions. Because at what point does Stephen A. Smith become the dawn of sports media? I'm talking Godfather. I'm talking my boss, y'all. Sports cartel energy? Because lately, every time somebody disagrees with Stephen A., it sounds like a warning. Y'all, we got to talk. So, I don't know if you know what's happening, what's going on. Stephen A. he's doing some stuff, y'all, to the sports world, and I'm here to talk about it. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's get right up to it. And if you don't know what's happening, let me show you the video that kind of sparked it. To me, it sparked the debate of Stephen A. thinking he a mob boss.
Was basically saying like Jaylen Brown is unmarketable, he's not likable, yada 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 yada, saying all these things. So Jaylen Brown got mad and he was like, state your source. Even then, me personally, if someone's gonna say all these things about me, I'm not really gonna want to come on your show and have a sit down talk about it and explain to you where I'm coming from, especially yes, mate.
Listen to what was just said.
Yes.
He's not marketable.
Yes.
A smart black man is not marketable.
Right.
But a thug is. But a drug dealer is.
You know what I'm saying?
But a pimp is. But a gang member is. Right? So let's have the conversation.
Okay.
So Snoop Dogg is marketable with gang talk, but being intelligent from Berkeley is not is not marketable. Let's put it on the table. So Jay-Z who says he sell dope and then he can convert over and everybody like, yes, but a guy who graduates magna cum that understands what he understands and is not bending on what he says, we don't support people that we don't raise people to the highest place in society because they're smart. Think of the last couple superstars, Lil Durk, gang member, right? Go through it. Pooh Shiesty. Think of all of the people you can think of. These are the ones they represent. They put the highest because they want to keep that ignorance before us. I hate to have this state, but I can't sit here and let us not. So a young lady that's doing the right thing, she's not the one they promote to us. They promote the one who's living crazy. If Mace want to do the right thing, he's crazy. If he wants to give his life to the inner city, raising up young black men, raising up young girls, that's not to be promoted. But a nigga selling dope is? That's the person that get the shot? We gotta stop doing that to us. We gotta stop. If we don't have nothing to say about this person living crazy, we gotta stop putting down people who are actually doing the right thing. Think of the stuff we support, man. Think of the stuff. That's all I'm saying. Now, I'm not on nobody, pointing at nobody. I'm talking to us as a culture of people. Think of the people we put in front of us.
I mean, to build onto your point, now I hit this on for Stat. Stat can tell me if I'm lying. Even Stat, when I talk to you, I say, man, Stat, I love how you represent yourself as a young lady. And I say, never get to the point where you feel like you got to sell sex or push something sexual to push your career. And whether I said it directly, indirectly, through an innuendo, it's just basically saying, like, that's the type of imagery, and be it with journalism or just handling your business should be the thing. And being able to live with yourself. And so I'm with you on that. And I do agree that if you can market something that's crazy, out of control, and sort of like a degenerate, if you can market degenerate behavior, there has to be a bucket of young, intelligent Black dudes that you can give props to. Hey, man, you know, this is what you can aim to aspire to be. But
Stephen A did go on his show and was basically saying like Jaylen Brown is unmarketable. He's not.
But in the end, Jaylen Brown, be careful what you wish for. You really want me to start reporting on that level? You understand? Locker room, how the organization might think about you, how the city may feel about you, how Jason Tatum may or may not have feel about you, sneaker deals, endorsement deals, the list goes on and on. The season is over, bro. You on Twitch trying to do what I do and talking about me needing to step away. It makes no sense. I'm not being disrespectful. I'm simply making the point that it is not wise after 24 hours of having your season over in the first round for you to be coming out talking about that's your favorite season. It ain't the smartest thing in the world to do. I wasn't trying to be disrespectful. I was trying to sit up there and look out by letting you know this is not a good look. It's not wise. That's all. And I would have respected Jaylen Brown more, Big Perk, Jay, had he come at y'all, had he come at everybody who said exactly what I was saying. But evidently, you understand, when you're talking about clickbait and all of that stuff, somebody told you one of the best ways to get it is to bring up my name. And that.
Okay, y'all, now hold on, because I've been peeping something for years, and I don't know if y'all know, but this is not just about Jaylen Brown. Because for years, this go way back. So let's keep going. But yeah, sound like a threat to me. Be careful what you wish for. Okay, Don Corleone, Stephen A.
Fuck Stephen A. Stephen A, Stephen B, Stephen C. Like, my offer still stands. You want me to be quiet and stop streaming? Well, I want you to be quiet and get off these networks, because you're not using your platform to do real journalism. You're using your platform to use clickbait. Using your platform to, let's go back and let's use example A. Fuck Stephen A.
Now, if you don't know, Jaylen Brown plays for the Boston Celtics, right? And before that, he's graduated cum laude, I think. But he's very educated, very smart brother, got his own business, is very vocal about how he want to handle his life, his basketball career. And this is why I say you got to know the history of Stephen A and doing this to other athletes, because this is not new. It's just being brought to social media because that's what time we're in. So let's go down the rabbit hole.
But when they run with this media and when they run with this narrative, they're gonna be like, it's Stephen A's job and it's Kendrick Perkins' job and my job to talk to the media. It ain't your job to be a clown.
And oh, by the way, you want me to make it worse, Mike Wilbon? Kendrick Perkins just pointed out that Jason Tatum hasn't appeared on Jaylen Brown's program.
What type of journalism is this? Jason Tatum hasn't been on my stream, and this is what we're talking about on First Take? What if JT just don't like being somewhere in an uncontrolled environment? Why are you doing journalism on me having guests on my stream? Renee's job, and it's Kendrick Perkins' job, and it's my job to talk to the media. It ain't your job to be a clown. It ain't. Not being and that's why people calling that shit out, and that's why I've came to that conclusion. And I'll tell Stephen A, whoever else, when they see me in person, I will let you know that it's fuck Stephen A, Stephen B.
And I want to add, I agree. Let's keep going. Now, I want to get to. I'm kind of all over the place.
Stephen A. pretty much admit.
Here it goes. I thought I saved it all in order, but listen. Now, I don't know if you're familiar with Kwame Brown, but Kwame is probably one of the first athletes that he publicly came for Stephen A few years ago after years of Stephen A insulting this man, probably affected his contracts. But at the time, there was no social media. So, you couldn't come to the internet and blast him. The old media had the upper hand and how the stories were to be told, right? So Kwame, when YouTube became popular, Kwame came out and he immediately went for Stephen A head. Because I've been peeping this for years. And like I said, this is not just about Jaylen Brown. This go way back to Kwame Brown. And if y'all remember, Kwame came out swinging. Kwame already had his position. His position basically was Stephen A ain't just criticizing players. So let you listen to what he says. And this is after the mob boss, Stephen A, threatened Jaylen Brown and just the videos you just saw. And if you're not familiar with Kwame Brown, go follow Kwame Brown, y'all. He keeps it real.
Admitted to everything I accused him of when I first came out. I don't want to hear nothing about Kwame be crying, Kwame be doing this. I said this was Stephen A's job. I want you to pay attention to what he admits that he can do. This guy openly admitted, do you want me? This is supposed to be just a basketball journalist. He's just supposed to be reporting on the game. His job shouldn't be that significant, right? Stephen A is harmless. He's just focusing on X's and O's in basketball, the game he knows and loves, that he couldn't play with a damn. But he says in this video.
But in the end, Jaylen Brown, be careful what you wish for. You really want me to start reporting on that level? You understand? Locker room, how the organization might think about you, how the city may feel about you, how Jason Tatum may or may not have feel about you, sneaker deals, endorsement deals, the list goes on and on.
Everything and how systematically he tear down players' contracts. And he's always a friend to white folk, but he's always aggressive towards black folk. Every time a black male athlete, a black person, period, says something to Stephen A, they're met with a threat on First Take. And then now he goes over to his own channel and do a whole segment on him. But Stephen A. Smith, how did you get so much power that you can get the team and everybody to go against Jaylen Brown, shoe deals and everything like that? He's going to openly admit this on airway. Thank you, Stephen A. Smith. You just vindicated me. All this Kwame is just mad about his basketball career. I feel sorry for him. Don't feel sorry for me. First of all, there's a God up above who I serve that's watching over me. You should know that, dummy. Stephen A. pretty much.
Now listen, Kwame's not lying. Stephen A ain't just criticizing players, y'all. He is help shaping narratives. And Kwame, he believes some of that coverage has damaged opportunities and perceptions. Now, whether y'all agree or not, that conversation never really went away. Then over time, more people started saying, hold up, just like Jaylen Brown is doing. Then you got Mace, you got players, NBA players, then you got podcasters. Everybody is questioning how much power do sports personalities really have? Because Stephen A is actually walking into games. They highlighting him like he a player. And I think that's where the line needs to be drawn at between these sports podcasters and athletes. You are not an athlete, Stephen A. So maybe if a black man can't get that through you, then maybe a black woman should come in. But let's keep going, because if this is not true, right? Years ago, do you think Stephen A would sound like this? How do you think Stephen A sounded 13 years ago? Let's see.
City of Angels, Hollywood just should be celebrated. Throw a parade already, whether you win a championship or not. This man was a bona fide scrub. He can't play. No disrespect whatsoever, but I'm sorry to tell everybody the truth. The man cannot play the game of basketball. He has small hands. He can't catch the ball. He's got bad feet. He can't really move, even though he's mobile. Doesn't really know what he's doing. Doesn't have a post move that he puts to memory that he can do 2 times in a row. He has no game whatsoever. Plays no defense. Doesn't have the heart. City of Angels, Hollywood.
Now, who do you think he was talking about 13 years ago? He was talking about Kwame Brown, y'all. That's why I say this is not new. Stephen A. been doing this. He's been acting like Don Corleone. Don, some type of Italian mob boss. I haven't figured out the name yet for Stephen A. But the Jaylen Brown situation is just bringing back trauma for players that he's done this to. That's why you get the Kwame Brown speaking out. That's why you get the Gil's Arena speaking out. That's why you get all these different people speaking out on these podcasts, because people are sick of this man acting like he is a mob boss where he could come in and shut shit down. That's why everybody is like, wait a minute. Because and I want to ask, do y'all think Stephen A. can end careers? Control narratives? He's already shown that he can move public opinion, because it's been happening prior to this with Kwame Brown, and probably many more who haven't come out and spoke, yet. But when did Stephen A. become the sports godfather? Can somebody cue the mafia music? Seriously.
And when you start hearing about the individuality of it, and then you see that combined with things that have led over time with Jaylen Brown, you start wondering, like, it's naturally awkward between those two. Now, can they coexist? Potentially, if they have strong leadership. But as we were talking about sometimes, PJ, a lot of times organizations are the ones that pit the best players against each other. What does that mean?
100%. It's the most subtle little things that you would never think about. Almost childish even sometimes. Like? There are things like being late to a plane, getting a meal first, getting cookies on the plane. Like, it's the dumbest. It's a lot of dumb certain way. And, on some organizations, they just flat out say it. This is the number one guy. Everybody else fall in line. This is what it is.
Once you get the people talking about it, the front office is going to start making decisions. Yeah. Because they got pressure on them. Like, I remember the Boston Celtics. We remember the year we came back, Gordon came back, Kyrie came back after the year that we took the team almost to the finals in 2018. Yeah. Then we come back to the next year, Gordon and Kyrie are now back on that team. And so now we got this loaded team with all this talent. Mm-hmm. They decided to move me to the bench, which was understandable. You got guys, you making $30 million or whatever. But as a 20-year-old kid who is extremely talented, that slowed down my development. Mm-hmm. So in that moment, like, how do I get back to where I want to get back to? Now I'm getting criticized for not working on my game. Right. Now I'm getting criticized for not being ready for my opportunities. In reality, it was we just had a stacked deck, and it was too much responsibility for, everyone to equally share. So what I did was like, how do you win over the fans? Right? Anytime I'm on the floor, I'm the best defender on the floor. And then I'm creating highlights where I'm like, if I get a fast break, if you look at that year, I'm windmilling it. I get a fast break, I'm down here with it. So now they start to be like, why isn't this kid playing more? Right? And why isn't he playing more consistently? And they start asking those questions. And in Boston, what ended up happening, this is like a forgotten moment in time, but they ended up having a petition. Like, the fans sent a petition, like, put Jaylen back in the starting lineup. Wow. And that eventually made the Celtics put me back in the starting lineup. Not because I feel like they wanted to. I think Brad preferred Gordon. One, he was making more money. Two, he was coming back off injury. Also the Butler. So keep it at Butler. I'm just, you know what I'm saying? They gave Gordon every chance offensively that he absolutely could.
And when you start...
So if you guys don't understand what he was talking about, because the way Stephen A does his podcast or his first takes or whatever, his sports media broadcasting, it changes the narrative of how the team started treating him. Because when Stephen A start talking about, you know, this and that and this and that, he's putting a spotlight on their flaws, which is crazy. But the problem comes in because he doesn't do it to white players. That's the part that people don't seem to understand. He only becomes aggressive when it comes to black athletes. So what Jaylen is basically describing is that he painted a picture for these people to treat him a certain way, and he had to work twice as hard to get back into the starting lineup, to get back the respect that he had once he got drafted. And so that's the problem that people was having with Stephen A. But hold up, y'all. If you love black culture, sports psychology, and conversations people scared to have, make sure you subscribe, because Black Culture is Lit is outside. So here's my question, y'all. At what point do a sports commentator become bigger than an athlete? Because it's not only happening on a national level, it's happening on the local level too. Look at the Cleveland media. Look at how they talk about Coach Prime as if they've accomplished the things he accomplished. What gives them the right? Because, baby, without the players, there is no show. There is no highlights, no hot takes, no debates, nothing. But at the same time, how does sports media have all this power? So is Kwame Brown right? Was Stephen A put here to chastise the black athletes? Because you never hear him doing this with the white athletes. I don't know. Let's keep going. Oops. Oh man, I lost my spot. Oh, that was it. Yeah, I don't know, y'all. And I agree. It is not your job, Stephen A, to be a clown. It's not. It's amazing to me that sports media got power, real power like this, you know, because narratives do matter. And if enough people repeat something, sometimes that becomes the story, not the game. So I need to know, y'all, am I tripping, or is Stephen A moving like a sports mob boss? Like he got 5 families. And to end the show, I'm going to end it how I started it. So drop below. Do the media got too much power, or is Stephen A just doing his job? You know, let me know. Like, subscribe, hit the notifications. Black Culture is Lit TV. Baby, we outside.
You're all a bunch of fucking assholes. You know why? You don't have the guts to be what you want to be. You need people like me. You need people like me so you can point your fucking fingers and say, that's the bad guy. You're all a bunch of fucking assholes.